What's up, guys? First off, you know I love to start out every single podcast shouting out my amazing and dedicated sponsors. First up, we have Ronnie and George with Revitalized Med Spa. Guys, I did it. I fudged up. I went out this weekend. We had a nice little boys' day on Saturday, and I needed an IV. George and Ronnie, they do mobile IVs with the Revitalized Med Spa, along with everything else. Guys, go check their link. They do microblading. They do massage. They do so much stuff. I can't even actually list it out in the time that I am allotted. So, guys, go check them out. They do amazing work. They're always going to take care of you. It's amazing. Get an IV if you're really, really hungover. I'm telling you, it's a miracle worker. Alright guys, welcome back. And if you are a dedicated listener to the show, you know that I skipped one of my sponsors. Now you're thinking like, oh shit, we started some drama. No drama. My guy, Ernie at Top Rocker Tattoo. He also does a lot of other stuff. By far, one of my best friends. He is the only person that I allow to tattoo me. I had to break out the short sleeve shirt today to show you the full sleeve that he's been working on with me. Guys, he hand drew everything. He came in, took measurements of my arm, and built this specifically to me. So it's something that no one else is going to have, and it's something that I love, and that's exactly why I always go back to my guy, Ernie, at Top Rocker Tattoo. Make sure, if you get a tattoo by him, drop the name Side of Mayo for 10% off your first tattoo. And the reason why he wasn't in the promo at the beginning is because he's right freaking here. Ernie.
Hello, beautiful people.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm great.
Yeah,
Fabulous.
You pulled up in the Rari and everything.
Yeah. You know, hard work.
That was the most like low-key intro I think I've ever seen. Like, yeah, it's a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Thursday. Rolling up in my Ferrari.
It's just it's a byproduct of working hard.
It is, man.
Yeah.
And we're gonna dive into that because one thing that I love about you probably more than anything is your desire to get after it and work. Your motto is never not working. And it sticks true.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a time that I don't go on Instagram or go on Snapchat or something and not see you doing art or tattooing, or you have a rap shop now. It's like it's always something new, and it's given me motivation to do so many different things and try and grind. And I remember I told you a story. We're going to kick it off with this too. Yeah. I told you the story. I was working 3 jobs at this point. I was hosting for ASU basketball. I was so excited. It was great. And it was on a Sunday, and I'll never forget. I was like, I don't want to be here. Like, it's a Sunday. It's a basketball game. The crowd's not packed. It's actually pretty dead in here. Yeah. And then I remember, like, getting hyped really quick. And I was, like, so excited to do my job. And I posted a picture, and I put never not working. And I didn't talk to you. We hadn't talked in a couple years at this point. Yeah. And I was like, wow. And I just started laughing. I was like, wow, Ernie. And I had to text you, and I texted you on site, and I was like, dude, I was just about to go to work, and I literally was about to post a picture that said never not working, and it made me think of you. Thank you so much for giving me that drive and determination.
Most definitely, brother. Most definitely. It's all about each one teach one.
Yeah.
It's things that people have invested into me. Yeah. So I feel that I have to do my part to continue to keep that flowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where did never not working come from? Has that just been instilled in you since you were a kid?
Yes, but I didn't have the actual verbiage for it.
Yeah.
It was a good friend of mine, and she was always like, man, you're never not working.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I like that.
It just stuck.
Yeah. She was like, yeah, that's definitely you. Like, you're always moving forward. You're a shark. You're just like, you know, never stagnant. Just moving forward and seeing what's the next thing, and elevating yourself, and then helping other people with the same information that has worked for me.
Yeah.
She was like, that's awesome.
It's crazy, though, because that hard work is infectious.
Yes.
And with tattooing, I know that you're big on, you don't try and bring like bullshit when you go to tattoo people, because you're doing a piece for them, and you're very big on energy, and they can feel that energy. Yes. So not only are you not always you are always working, but you have to be in the right mental state in every single one of your jobs, because it impacts the person you're working on so much.
Definitely. For me, it's not what I'm doing to you, it's what I'm doing for you.
Yeah.
and I don't want to be like, oh, I'm a tattoo artist and I'm cool and it's on TV now. And this, when I got into the industry, none of that was really popping. So for me, it was what I was doing for my client. And I started studying and specializing in cover-ups, because there was more people out there that had bad tattoos for whatever reason. You could have gotten it in a kitchen, in somebody's garage, or even paid really good money and not gotten what you wanted. So I took it upon myself to study that so I can continue to help people. Not just with brand new tattoos, but cleaning up other people's stains.
It's such a big thing, and a lot of people have tattoos that they either were drunk when they did it, they didn't like it, or maybe it was about someone that's not in their life anymore. So that initial tattoo means so much, but the cover up means even more.
Most definitely.
Because it's trying to like overcome a hard time in your life.
And I'm able to help that person turn the page.
Turn a page to a new chapter, and that's what people need in life. But your story of how you got into tattooing is one of my favorite stories. By the way, guys, I just gotta shout it out, because I've sat in his chair for so many hours that we've had so many in-depth conversations, and that I guarantee I'm still gonna learn more this time, as much as you guys are. But the first story of how you got into tattooing, it's a funny one, but I think it actually just shows true to who you are. So do you mind like giving us the rundown?
No,
on the
not
story?
at all. That's what I'm here for. I won't go so much into depth because it's a pretty long one. A good friend of mine reached out to me through MySpace, and this is how long ago.
How long ago? What was your background music?
I had the Deftones.
Oh shoot! Okay, I had the two-step remix. You remember that?
Yeah. Change, that was my number one on there.
Nice.
So I at that time I started using it as a website. They're like, not just like who I'm connecting with, but who am I able to reach out and connect with. So knowing business, that's what I went about it that way. And I didn't have artwork up or anything on there. I had stopped doing art for many years working corporate. And working corporate ladder and moving up, and somebody would fuck up, and I was there, and I would step in, I would take the place, and then I'd get the position, and I just kept moving on up. So I stopped doing art for many years. I didn't pick up a pencil or a pen to draw. It was to write checks or to fill out notes or for that. So a good friend of mine that I grew up with, he reached out to me and he was like, hey, are you this person? I was like, yeah. What's up, man? And he was like, oh, I haven't talked to you in a long time. He was like, are you still doing art? And I was like, far from it. And then he was like, I would like to get a tattoo of your style on me.
Because you had like graffiti style, yeah?
Well, I did a lot of different styles of art. I could do fine art and draw and sketch and paint in oils, acrylics, all these different things. The highest degree that I got in art was high school. But I was doing things that the teachers were like, oh, you need to submit into this or do that. And I would do competitions and stuff, and I would, I was blessed.
You do well, I've
did,
seen your work,
I did well, thank you. And then I got into graffiti art at a really young age. So I have 2 older brothers and I have 2 older sisters. And my oldest brother, which is 11 years older than me, we're super tight. He used to wake me up Saturday mornings. Instead of watching cartoons, we'd go paint trains.
Oh, yeah. You were telling me about this. You would go paint like, because you were from LA, right? And you would go paint the trains.
From California.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Man, just California.
In California. So I grew up doing graffiti art, and my good friend, we did a lot of stuff, not illegal stuff. We entered into like competitions, and we started doing stuff for our community. We were hitting up businesses that were getting spray painted on and say, hey, look, we did this for this other business. We can do this for your business. And then it just started growing. So we grew up doing graffiti art, uplifting our community as well.
It wasn't meant to like deface or anything like that. It was trying to be productive.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I was honored that he wanted to get my lettering style tattooed on his body. And his profession, his new profession, was that he was a tattoo artist now. He was living in Las Vegas, and he was successful. 3 years. He bought a home from it. He was taking care of his family. He was doing it like a business.
Yeah.
So super awesome. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I can do this for you. I don't know if I have the time. Or he was like, I would be honored if you could do that for me.
Wow.
So I thought about it, and then it took me about 6 months to actually sit down and put it together. So I put it together for him. I mailed it out to him. I did the original design, and then I did another layout because he asked me to have the line work.
Okay.
Like a stencil.
At
the time, I didn't know. I didn't have a single tattoo on my body. I was almost...
And that's crazy because you're covered in them.
Well, it looks like it, but
that's true.
I'm very particular. Once I got into tattooing, I was tattooing for 1.5 years with no tattoos on my body. Yeah, not a single one. Because I didn't want to fall into that stereotype like, oh, I'm a tattoo artist now and I need to be covered.
Yep.
In crap. You know,
yeah,
there's
and
a lot
not
of
good tattoos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people out there that like, oh, I have a full sleeve. And I was like, yeah, but it doesn't look good.
Yeah, it looks awful.
For sure.
For sure.
So I find the time. I put this together for him. I mail it out to him. And he's like, awesome, I received it. Now I'm going to, get it tattooed. I'll send you some photos and post it or whatever. Well, it took about 1 year to 1.5 years, and he still had not gotten the tattoo.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because at the time, a lot of people weren't doing graffiti art.
Okay.
So he was working with other artists that were awesome at tattooing in traditional Americana, Asian work, and full color.
Oh, okay.
All these different styles, but
Not
graffiti,
so much graffiti.
Yeah, they're like, I don't understand that. I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
So they weren't trying to be about it. So then he started hounding me about doing it, and I was like, yeah, no.
Like, I drew this up for you, Bubba. That's about as far as it goes.
Yeah. And then he was like, well, I'd really like for you. So he kept hounding me about it, and finally, I fell into it, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
He was living in Las Vegas. I was living in California, in San Diego, California.
Okay.
And then he was like, hey, I ran into your parents. And I was like, where? And he was like, at a buffet.
Oh,
and
they were in Vegas?
Yeah. My parents had moved to Vegas.
Okay.
My second oldest brother lives out there.
Gotcha.
So they were out there. And it was true. I hit up my mom. I was like, hey, did you end up running into Ricky? And she was like, yeah, I saw him and his family and his kids. And we were like, when's, Ernie going to come out here? And he was like, I'm trying to get him to come out here. So they
straight threw you under the bus. They're like, we need his ass out here right now. Yeah, okay.
So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go hang out with him. And then at the same time, I'll get to see my parents, which is super awesome. See my brother. And as soon as I get off the plane, he was like, bro, you got to do my tattoo, this, and that. And I was going to be staying with him.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm not doing anything. I'm about to jump right back on this plane. I'm going to get out of here is what I'm going to do.
Oh, you wanted to bail.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel you on that.
Tattoos are permanent.
Exactly.
It's not just, oh, I know how to draw. Hey, maybe I should get into tattooing.
Yep.
I have a couple of clients that, they're like, I can draw. I'm thinking of possibly getting into that. And I tell this to everybody, anybody that wants to apprentice under me or wants to study or even has that conversation. I tell them, draw every day for a month. And if you're tired of drawing every day for a month, this might not be for you.
Yeah.
Because you might even get to a point where you're like, yeah, I can draw this. I'm great at doing Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, but not everybody wants a Mickey Mouse. So then you're going to be kind of stuck. And then also, if you think that that's your best, then how can you improve?
Exactly.
So I always hit people off with that. There's just so much about it.
Yeah.
So getting back to the story with him, he had a setup ready to go at his home.
Oh, at his house? He was wasting no time.
No, he was like, determined. He was like, I'm gonna get a tattoo by this guy.
Yeah. There's not gonna be any excuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. And then we went to lunch, and then he was, oh man, you know, I was like, I don't know how to do any of that.
Yeah.
I don't know how to. I haven't done that type of art, and I've done a lot of different styles before I stopped doing any type of art. I can airbrush. I know how to pinstripe.
Yeah.
I did aerosol art.
Oh shit.
I can do oils, acrylics, and not just like barely do it. Like,
yeah, like do it up.
yes, I can do them correctly. I know what goes into every style and have respect for everything that goes into every style.
Yeah.
He reminded me of that. He was like, you're a creator. He was like, it doesn't matter if you have spray paint or oils or crayons. He was like, I know, I've seen it.
You can create something amazing.
Definitely. And my friend reminded me of that. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And he was like, I want to collect a piece of your art, and not just on a canvas or on a acrylic, paint of a, you know, a b-boy jacket, because we used to break dance as well.
Yeah.
Together.
It was on my Instagram story. You guys need to follow my Instagram story.
Yeah. Nick hit me up on that. He was like, let me see what you got.
I had to see the breakdancing moves, man.
So I did a little bit. So so I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I was like, you're going to walk me through it? And he was like, yes. He was actually working on himself, on his thigh. So he was like, I have everything set up. He had a studio at his home that was super clean, sterile. So it wasn't like, we're, you know, just doing something out of the kitchen.
Yeah.
The same work ethic and the setup, breakdown, and sterilization that he does in his profession. Not that he's just, I can tattoo. This was his profession. This is what he was living off, and this is how he was taking care of his family. He had a lot of respect for it as well.
100%.
So it opened up my eyes to that. I was like, okay, he believes in me.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and do this. So he had a stencil laid out of what I had already drawn.
Okay.
And I laid it on him, and I messed it up.
Just laying it on, or the tattoo?
Laying the stencil.
Oh,
just the piece of paper.
Yeah.
Just laying the piece of paper.
Just laying the piece of paper.
Yeah. It was crooked. And then I was like, no, man, you see, this is why I shouldn't be doing this. He was like, no, it's okay. He was like, we'll clean it off. We'll go to the shop.
Yeah.
And we'll make another one. And then we'll just lay it again and whatever. And I was trying to kill time at this point. And I was like,
you messed it up on purpose, didn't you? No, I'm just
kidding.
I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's cleaning up the floors or cleaning windows or a tattoo or whatever. I try to put my best into everything.
Yeah.
And that's what my parents instilled into me. They're like, if you're going to put anything of your time, be valuable of your time.
Yeah.
That's the only thing in this life that we don't ever get back. Exactly. And I took it to heart even at a really young age, because I've had the work ethic of never not working.
Yeah.
This is one thing that a lot of people don't know about me, is that I'm a lazy person.
Do tell.
I've learned that at a really young age. I see something on the floor, I would rather walk over it than to pick it up. And I learned that wastes a lot of time. Getting back to what my parents were teaching me, that's the only thing that we don't ever get back.
Yeah.
I was like, well, now I know that I'm this, I'm going to counter it.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of wasting time to have to come back and do it, and you can have more time to go play with your friends and all that, I learned right there and then. I was like, okay,
I'm just going to do it now.
I'm lazy. I'm going to do the opposite. And I learned this at the age of like 6 and 7 years old.
Well, and that's big, because I know for me and my family, my dad has always instilled in me, he's like, hey, you know, we as a family, just we as humans have problems, like that we don't want to do shit.
Yeah.
We want to be lazy. Like, this is just in our DNA. And we can have anger issues. We can be emotional, different things. And he's like, you need to be the one to break the chain.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm trying to do it, but you need to be the one that does it, because I'm trying to instill this in you at such a young age that I didn't even realize it. And now I'm 27 having a freaking panic attack because I'm not where I'm supposed to be. But in my head, I'm way farther ahead than a lot of other people.
Most definitely.
I'm just not where I want to be at, because I have that drive. And that's why I was talking to my girlfriend about this the other day. And I was like, I literally beat myself up so much because I have such high expectations, but to me, they're not high expectations. And that's what instilled in me when I was a kid, just like that instilled into you as a kid. And it's made you who you are now.
For sure. You end up saving that time. You do things efficiently. You have more time to do other things. Yeah. And as a kid, I was like, I don't want to have to come back and sweep again or clean my room. Now I have more time to work on art projects or go hang out with my friends or play sports or whatnot. So with that, I was like, I need to do this correctly. Mm-hmm. So at the time, I was like, I messed up the stencil. Let me draw it on you. Do you have Sharpies? And he was like, yeah.
Oh, he let you hand draw the shit on him.
Yes, because I was trying to kill time.
Yeah.
I was kind of trying to discourage him. He was like, maybe, yeah, it's a good idea that you don't tattoo on me. He still believed in me.
Wow.
So I draw this on him, and as I'm going through the motions and I'm drawing this on him, it started making sense.
Oh, really? It just clicked?
Yes.
Okay.
It just started like the shapes and the angles and the proportion. That's where I started working on custom fit
to like how I was telling people, like how you took the measurements in my arm and everything like that.
You know, if it's tailored to you. You know, I end up making you a suit, and if it doesn't matter if it's from silk or it's ink.
Yeah.
You know, it's tailored to the person. It's not going to fit somebody else. It's not you're picking a design off the wall and it's 143, and there's already more than 143 people that have that tattoo.
Yeah. So that's what I was really trying to get through to people, and then we'll jump back into the story. Just real quick dive off, is that when you have a custom piece, it's different. I get compliments on my sleeve all the time because people haven't seen it. It doesn't exist anywhere else.
No.
People might have other versions, but they don't have mine. They don't have the way you built the flow and how everything runs. And that's exactly what I was trying to get across to people, because that's the type of stuff that matters.
Yeah.
And that's what people want on their body forever.
For male, it's supposed to fit the body as armor.
Yeah.
These are things that protect us. We're a special breed of people who get tattooed. And those that don't get tattooed, that's fine as well. But there's a lot more than I just want a pretty design on me or something that's going to make me look scary or tough. You know, when you really dive into it, you know, we're wearing these things that we have experienced in life.
Exactly. So back to the story. Back to the story.
So going back to that, as I'm drawing it, it starts making sense. Then I drew the whole thing, and I took a photo on my Razor phone. Flip, I'm telling you.
The Razor. I had one, man. I had a Razor.
I heard they're bringing them back or something.
Please don't. It's not worth it.
So I took a photo. I show him. He's like, yeah, it looks good. He looks in the mirror, and yeah, it looks good. So then he was like, okay, we're going to do this part. I'm going to do the line work. He was showing me on his leg because he was working on a piece.
Yeah.
So he was like, you stretch the skin like this, and you start from point A to point B, you know, run it through. All my machines are dialed in.
Yeah.
He had everything set up. He knew that this was going to happen. He had convinced himself a long time ago before he convinced me.
That you were going to do this tattoo.
Yes.
Come hell or high water.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
So I do the line work, and I was like, okay, we're done. Check it out. And that took me about 2 hours.
For the line work?
Yes. And then I was like, okay, you can have somebody shade it and do the color. And he was like, no. He was like, now you have to do the shading. And then he showed me on his leg. He had another machine set up. There are different needle sizes.
Yeah.
So it's almost if you think about it like how painting, you have a very fine line detail, and you're doing eyelashes and you know.
The different brushes.
You know, we wouldn't paint this wall with a thin brush. You'd use a roller.
Exactly.
So using the right size needles are like brushes. And he was breaking these things down to me because he knew I could do those styles of art. Yeah. So it made sense. Gotcha. I was like, okay, so yeah. And I knew the angle, speed, and depth, which are the three main components of any tattoo.
Okay. Angle, speed, depth.
Angle, speed, and depth. It doesn't matter if you're doing it by hand. if you're doing the Polynesian tapping, the tatau,
Yeah.
or if you're doing the stretching with the rod, the traditional Asian work, which is the insertion of that, or if you're using a coil machine, or now the new rotary machines.
Yeah.
It's all the same thing. It's all angle, speed, and depth.
Angle, speed, and depth.
So he was breaking all that down for me. So I was like, oh, I'm understanding it. It's looking good. It's not really, the skin's not really irritated.
Yeah.
I knew I was causing trauma to his skin. So I was kind of like finessing what I was going through. You know, I wasn't just like, because I was creating art. I wasn't mentally tattooing. I was creating a piece, what my friend wanted for the rest of his life.
Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead.
So then I finished the shading. I was like, okay, we're done. He's like, no, now color. The whole thing ended up taking me about 6 hours to do.
Was it a big piece?
It was from shoulder to shoulder. It was a graffiti style piece, and his last name is Diaz.
Oh, shoot. So it was on his back, shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, instead of having it like the old school, old English lettering.
You did graffiti.
Yeah, he wanted to be able to still have that represent. And that, my friend, is called the top rocker.
Oh, okay. See? I told you guys we're learning new shit today. That's called the top rocker.
The top rocker is very important on a jacket, on your Letterman's jacket, on a anything
jersey,
sports, anything like that. Yeah. That's your team. And then the bottom rocker, if you end up putting anything, is like the name or whatnot.
Yeah.
But that's the importance. So that later on falls into the studio that I own now.
Yeah, Top Rocker Studios.
Definitely. So I end up doing the tattoo. I checked something off the list that I had not done before. Yeah. I had never done a tattoo.
Yeah.
So it was cool. It was nerve-wracking. I stepped up to the plate. And it wasn't just for me. Yeah. It wasn't like, oh, I'm dope or, this and that, because I hadn't done art in a long time.
Yeah.
It was competing against myself. Growing up, I did a lot of hip hop, and I'm still into hip hop, and that's one of my big foundations. Not just because it was fun or this and that. Like, I learned a lot from it because it's the challenge, and you can be in a circle watching as a spectator, and somebody points at you,
and you gotta jump in.
You're up, because if not, you're a coward.
Wow.
And that's worse than getting smoked on the dance floor. You get more respect. Stepping in and you do your little wave or whatever, whatnot, but you didn't let yourself. Yeah. And that's another thing that had always taught me to be able to stand up for myself and move forward. So I was creating in an aspect of that type of art, but for my client. Yeah. Which was a really good friend of mine. And I took it that important as if I was working with a client.
Yeah, and then didn't they have like more clients for you, or didn't they want to bring you back for more clients?
Yes. So what ended up happening with that is that 2 weeks later, he hits me up, and it's a Friday, and
you're leaving your corporate job, right?
I'm still doing my corporate job. Yeah. And he hits me up, and it's very busy. I have meetings and everything, and I get a phone call from him, and he's a rambler. He likes to just like talk.
Oh yeah.
I love him though.
We all got those people.
Yeah. Because he's my friend.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I accept it.
If you don't know who your rambler friend are, you might just look in the mirror, because then you're the one.
You might be.
You're the one.
You might be the one. Yeah. If you can't find them, you're the one.
You're the one.
So he ends up hitting me up. He was like, "Hey, my tattoo came out really good, and it healed out." I don't have any tattoos on my body, so I don't know this or understand it. Yeah. So I was like, I thought you said it was good when I did it. And he was like, yeah, but it healed very good. Yeah. Everything that you did stuck in there. I was like, oh, okay, awesome. All right, cool. Yeah. What's going on, bro? And he was like, well, I started talking shit to the other artists at the studio, and the owner overheard that my boy came down from California to do this tattoo, and now he has some clients for you. I'm like, what? I was like, nah, bro, I gotta go. I'm about to just walk in to a meeting. And he was like, no. I was like, Ricky, I gotta go. Yeah. I hung up on him. I went throughout my day, and on the way home, California. I'm stuck in the freeway.
Yeah, you're stuck on traffic anyway.
Yeah. I call him up and I was like, Ricky, what's going on? He's like, bro, I could lose my job. I was like, you could lose your job? What do you mean? He's like, I opened my mouth and they got you some clients because nobody's doing graffiti art here. And, yeah, there's two people that left $200 deposits. And I was like, well, just give them back. Tell them that I don't know what I'm doing. And it was a fluke. And he was like, I can't do that.
Just give them it back.
I was like, they think that I'm a tattoo artist. Well, tell them that I'm completely booked out or something.
Yeah, make up some shit.
Yeah, and he was like, I can't. And I was like, well, what are we going to do then? He was like, the owner said that he would fly you out. You could stay with me, do the tattoos, and that way I could learn or the other guys can see what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I gotta figure this out. I was like, but as of right now, try to figure out something else because I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable doing that. And he was like, see what you can do, please. And I thought about it all weekend. And then I called him up Sunday evening. And I felt the responsibility. Everything was happening for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to hate that. I used to really, really hate that. I'm like, I don't have control over what I want to do or what I need to do or what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I ended up learning that we do have control to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's things that happen for us, happen to us, all these different things. So I took it upon myself. I was like, okay, again, he believes in me.
Yeah.
He's not going to put me on somebody that I'm going to end up messing up or whatever.
Yeah. They're not going to let you fail. It's going to look bad on them if you fail.
Well, the owner's a businessman. He just wants to be able to take care of his clientele and grow. Mm-hmm. There's a person that's doing something that his other six artists don't do. Well, he's like, well, if this person comes down or when he comes down, you guys can learn from that. We can adapt and keep moving forward. So I learned from that eventually as well.
Wow.
So with that, I said yes. I was like, I'll fly down next weekend. They got my ticket. I flew down. And I met up with the first client. And it wasn't just that he wanted a graffiti piece. He wanted a memorial piece.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. So he was around my brother's age, 11 years older than me.
Okay.
So he's almost 50-something.
Wow.
And he grew up in the era where graffiti and b-boying, like the whole hip-hop culture was becoming what it was.
Yeah.
He was telling me that he remembers where kids that were doing disco ended up, you know, getting into doing
breaking that chain and going to breakdancing.
Yeah, they went from dancing the hustle to hustling on the
street, on the
floor.
corner.
Yeah. So him and his brother wanted to get into graffiti art. The single mother, he starts telling me this whole story. His single mother, she works graveyard.
Wow.
They snuck out at night and they went to go paint trains in New York.
Wow.
So this is some big stuff. So he's telling me the story that they didn't get caught by the cops.
Yeah.
Beat up by gangs or caught by their mom. So it was a success.
Yeah.
They went on this mission.
That's a brotherhood, right?
A brotherhood, the bond.
Yeah.
And I understood that with my brothers.
Yeah.
So it hit really hard, and I couldn't imagine not having my brother in my life.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to all these things, and mentally I'm taking footnotes.
Mm-hmm.
He shows me this Polaroid photo of the photo that they took the next morning after having breakfast with their mom. They run up to the train station. The train that they painted pulls up.
Holy cow.
So he had documentation of it. He had a old school Polaroid photo of it. He had a couple of them.
Wow.
So he shows me this. I don't know how to lay a stencil.
Yeah.
I don't know how to I don't know how to set up the tattoo machine. Mm-hmm. And they're not called guns. They're tattoo machines because they don't shoot anybody.
Facts.
Yeah. So People
That's
learn.
crazy,
People learn
though.
around me. So again, what I'm comfortable with is drawing.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So I asked my friend Ricky. I was like, let me get some Sharpies, and if you
draw it
can
on it.
help me up with the setup while I'm doing that. So I'm making it seem like he's apprenticing under me. See if you set up those machines correctly.
Yeah.
But I not like with ego. But
Yeah, not a
but
dickhead
I gave
thing.
him a task while I was doing something else. So we were both working efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another thing. I don't have a single tattoo on my body.
At that time, yes.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yep.
I don't have no tattoos on my body. I don't look like a tattoo artist. I don't have piercings. I was working corporate.
Working corporate, you're just there to tattoo. You had no
but
idea
I
what you were getting
remembered
into.
my hip hop roots, so I would still dress fly. You know, I was wearing some sweats and my Nikes and so it just
flowed. Yeah, for sure.
just dressed down. And but the other artists are looking at me like, who's this dude? And then my friend was already talking all this shit about me doing stuff that they can't do, so they're like,
They want to see if you can put your money where your mouth is.
for
now.
sure.
Even though it wasn't even you talking shit. That's the funniest part.
But I had to
You had to back 'em up.
I had to step it up, just like hip hop taught me.
How'd it go? Did you crush it?
So I end up laying the drawing on him from the Polaroid, and I just so I could get a background, I drew the train as well.
Nice.
So he took a look at it and he was like, yeah, that's what I want. I love it. It flowed really good. It was on his forearm.
Okay.
And he loved the placement, the size, and all of that. And I was like, okay, we'll just let it dry out for a bit. And I started getting nervous. It really hit me. I'm about to do something without the guidance of my friend because he's tattooing. He's working.
Yeah.
He had appointments and he was taking in walk-ins. So I'm on by myself. The thing that helped me out was music.
Oh, okay.
So I throw on my headphones and I pulled out my CD Walkman.
Hell yeah. The old school shit.
Yeah, and I just said it, and I still wanted to have communication with him because communication is key.
Definitely.
I told him the same thing that I've been telling people for the past 20 years. We're going to go ahead and start from the bottom, move our way up. If you have to move for any reason or take a break, that's perfectly fine. You're in control as well.
Yeah.
It's not like that, or it wasn't like that back then.
Yeah.
Because back then it was sit down, shut the fuck up, don't move.
I need to get this shit done.
Yeah, and that's how tattoo artists would treat people. So it was like, it put him at ease.
It was a better experience.
Most definitely. But
them.
I didn't know, but I took things that I learned in corporate, and then I started applying it to the tattoo industry.
Yeah.
So I end up doing the line work, and then I do the shading, and I'm getting into it. I'm into my music, and I'm still communicating. I'm like, you good? And yeah, you needed a break? Just let me know. He's like, no, I'm good. So I did the whole thing, and he wanted it just in black and gray. So I ended up.
That's easier for you, yeah.
I was just like, I understand that because I knew how to create in depth.
Yeah.
I knew shading. I knew what needed to be saturated and where light source, all these different things. So I'm going in my files of what I've done
For your
years before. They're like, hey, you have to shade this banana and this apple and this orange, and it's in a basket. Like, this is the light source. I took those things, and I'm going through my files in my head, and I applied it to the tattoo. So it took me about 2 hours to do the piece, and I was like, go take a look at it. I cleaned it up. Yep. Go take a look at it. And he looks in the mirror, and he looked back at me, and the look that he gave me was powerful. It was powerful. It wasn't even about like money. It was what I was able to do and empower somebody through my art. So I clean him up, and he was like, so what do I owe you? I was like, well, business came in. I didn't want to sound like I didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah.
So I was like, you already put down a $200 deposit. They charge this much, the hourly and everything. We worked on you for 4 hours. Your resting balance is $200. The girl up front will take care of you. He's like, no, I left a $50 deposit.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, what? What? And he was like, yeah. And I was like,
I left a $50. Okay.
And they said, yeah, you know, they just told me to leave a $50 deposit, and they said that you were going to come down and work on a couple of people, and I could be put on that list. And I was like, okay. I didn't want to make him feel a certain way or anything.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault.
The shock hit me. I was like, well, she'll take care of you. And then I went out front. I used to smoke cigarettes at the time.
Okay.
So I go outside, I'm puffing on a cigarette, trying to calm down. I'm on my second cigarette. My friend Ricky ends up coming out. He jumps out. He's like, oh, man, that tattoo came out sick. You did so good. And I was like, you lied to me.
Yeah, you were like, yes, I did. But, dude, you freaking lied. You told me $200 deposits like this. And
yeah, so
shit.
he lied to be able to get me to do that and to come out there and all that. And I'm about to, like, rip into him. And the client comes out, and he reaches into his pocket, and he gave me a tip. I later find out later in the evening, he gave me $100 tip.
Okay.
It wasn't the money again. It was what I was able to do with my art.
Yeah.
I got the tip, and I knew if somebody gives you a tip out of whatever it is, 50 cents or a quarter or $100, whatever, you say thank you very much.
And you don't look at it.
Yeah, and you put it in your pocket. And he said, I was like, thank you very much. He was like, no, thank you for giving me my brother back. His brother passed away of cancer, and he fought and he fought, and he passed away.
Wow.
But now he doesn't remember his brother being sick. He remembers the mission that both of them went through. And that's what's continually helping him move forward.
Wow.
That's what I was able to do with my art. It was that much more powerful. That got me into tattooing.
That's crazy.
I left corporate America.
Right then and there. Yeah, that's what is so impactful about what you do in tattooing. And I don't think people fully understand that. But I mean, I look at my tattoos every single day, and I get comments on them every single day. And that has nothing to do with a brother that I lost or anything like that. This is just a dream of mine. And to be able to like look down and see that over and over every single day, because when you do a great piece, like you said at the start of the show, it is on you forever. They are going to look at that thing forever. And that's why it's so important. And that's why you put in the work. And that's why you study. That's why you do the drawings. That's why you take advantage of everything, because it is on them forever. And that means something to them, probably more than you'll ever know. And that is wild to me.
For sure. I ended up learning that, yes, I had a skill set to be able to create, but being talented is not enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to put work ethic behind it. And then that's what's gotten me to where I'm now.
Yeah.
You know,
let's talk about where you're at now, because you're killing it, man.
Thank you.
Sorry to cut you off, but like,
it's all right.
you're on a whole nother level when it comes to working. Like, the pandemic did not freaking stop you.
No, it actually gave me more time. We were closed down. My studio has been successfully open for 12 years, helping the community.
Yep.
Within the past 8 years, I've opened up that much more through social media and learning social media, that I have clients flying from other states and now other countries.
Yeah, you were telling me you had a guy come in from Germany or something like that?
Yeah, just this last week we had a client from Germany. So it's opened up more of those things, that they see what I've done through social media, and those who pay attention will dissect everything. So I'm one of those people that do that as well. So as I'm filming, I don't just show the tattoo, I show the client.
Oh yeah.
They've been sitting for 7 hours and they don't look like they want to rip their hair out. They're smiling.
That's facts.
You've been under the needle for a good amount of hours. From different artists. I mean, you've been overseas as well and gotten tattooed, which is super awesome to be able to experience that.
Yeah.
And then it's different getting tattooed by a different person, because this is one of the things that I tell everybody.
Yeah.
You can have all the same ingredients, but not everybody cooks the same way.
Exactly.
There's people that unfortunately burn water. And me, I don't just cook. I chef.
You chef. Damn. You do. That's what, like, yeah.
It's that much more, because you can eat food and be like, oh, that was pretty good. And then you
cook.
You sit down at somebody's table and their mother or grandmother cooked for you with love, that great energy, it's that much more. It doesn't matter if it's just, you know, huevos rancheros.
It doesn't matter what the dish is.
No, it's the way that it's created, and the love and respect behind it. I'm a foodie.
Oh, hell
and
yeah.
I have been for a long time before it was popular or even
Instagram. I get you.
So I've traveled different places, and I'm a foodie. I enjoy different foods and different cultures because I'm a student, so I'm always trying to learn.
Yeah.
With that, having the respect of seeing a chef create something that doesn't last that long.
Yeah.
You have this beautiful plate, and you eat with your eyes before anything.
Yeah.
And then you smell it, and then you actually taste it, and you're like, wow, you know. So I took that of somebody who's creating something that doesn't last more than 20 minutes, 30 minutes if the person is really enjoying their food and conversation or whatnot.
They mow it down.
And bam, it's done. It's gone. That chef or that cook put so much time and effort and energy into that. Why wouldn't I do that for a tattoo that's going to last
exactly
the lifetime? So those are those things that through what people are doing or not doing has influenced me to do what I'm doing and what I'm going to continue to do.
Yeah. And you actually opened a business.
I did. So we got closed down. There's a lot of businesses that
didn't come back, man. Unfortunately, it's sad.
But they were closed down. If you were like a barber, nail salon, a hair salon, massage parlors. So a lot of, small business owners had to close down, and they didn't bounce back from that.
Yeah.
And one of the things is that I don't have a lot of time. I'm very efficient with my time. So I was like, what am I going to do? I was kind of panicking. I was like, not that I don't have reserves to be able to be closed down for a couple of months or whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
It was like the waste of time. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to start painting. I'm going to start painting more. That's another thing that I do. So I tattoo all day, and then I get hired to paint all night.
Yep.
So that's the never not working as well.
Yeah.
And my body has gotten used to it, just like you push yourself to do physical activity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like lifting that muscle. At first, you're like, whoa, I don't know.
Just got to do it over and over.
And in your head,
over.
you're like, I got this. Yes. And you keep pushing yourself, and then you do it. And then that weight is easy.
Yeah.
So then you start pushing yourself to the next level.
And more.
So with that, I was like, I'm going to start painting. So I put it out there. I was like, the studio is going to be closed down for this amount of time. But those of you that are existing clients or friends or family or anybody new that wants to get anything, I have some time.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing, in the first week, I did 2 paintings.
Wow. And
just the same way that I get hired to paint live. So I did my setup, I put my music, and then I started creating.
Yeah. It's a zone. You got to get in the zone.
I don't just paint also. I mean, I get hired to paint live. So I'm on stage creating right before your eyes.
Yeah.
So I'm feeding again off of the music.
Yeah.
So once the DJ starts or the band starts, I start.
Yeah.
And I don't just paint. My brush dances on the canvas.
I love that.
Because it's learning those things and feeling comfortable with it. So my hands just going and then hitting the beat and then elongated and all these different things. And that's just what I feel comfortable. And people enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I was filming myself doing that as well so I can document it. And then I started selling paintings. In 2 weeks, I sold 4 paintings at $2,500 a painting.
Wow.
In 2 weeks, I made 10 grand.
Some beautiful paintings, though. If you guys haven't checked out his paintings, go check them out.
Thank you, brother.
On his. He hooked me up with one. It's Easy E.
Yeah.
I have been manifesting just for the last 4 years this painting because I walk into a studio every single time, and it's like, one day I'm walking out with this. One day I'm walking out with this, and it's my favorite piece of painting. It's sitting right next to my little workstation, or hanging up right next to my little workstation at home. I haven't sent you a picture of it yet. Shall I need to do that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's hanging up right there, right in front of my computer.
And I've had a lot of people interested in purchasing it.
That's what you had said.
And I just never felt right for some reason to be able to let it go.
That's
for me,
wild.
it's not about the money.
Yeah.
It's what I'm able to do with my art. I didn't get into tattooing for the money.
No.
I had money. I was getting paid $75 an hour to tell people what to do.
Yeah. And so now you do this, and it's more of
It's
what
more
you want to do.
satisfying. It's that much more satisfying. I tattoo on a client, and they walk over to the mirror and they look back at me. That gives me more fulfillment than any of the stuff that I end up purchasing.
Oh, yeah. I look at it and I go, oh, shit. Hell yeah. Every single time.
You say, I pulled up in the Ferrari. I mean, I'm just like, yeah.
You are successful, man. Like, let's not dance around that. You're successful, but like the most humble person, and someone who it wasn't given to them. It was tattooing all day and painting all freaking night.
Yeah.
Like, there was hours and hours and hours of work put in.
And the thing is this. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, okay, it's a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've wanted that for so long. My father passed away 2 years ago now.
I'm sorry, man.
And the doctors told him that he was going to live only 2 years.
Wow.
12 years ago.
Oh, he lived to an extra 12 years.
He left 10 years,
10 years, yeah.
on top of what the doctor said.
Wow.
So isn't that much more motivation? Tell me that I can't do something, and I'll show you in 5 fucking different ways that I can. So I've adapted those things. My father owned a body shop growing up.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So in the automotive industry, he owned his family business.
That's awesome.
And it's called Rojas and Sons.
Okay.
All of us worked.
So that's
there.
why you're a big car guy.
Yeah, he instilled that into me.
Heck yeah. Okay.
I got this Ferrari because that was what was on his business card.
Oh, a Ferrari?
It was that Ferrari.
Wow. Dang.
So
That's legit.
It doesn't matter if it's a Ferrari or if it's a Ford Focus or whatever. Whatever is meaningful to you, go out and get it.
Exactly. And that's one of the things we wanted to talk about, and we got to wrap this up here in a couple minutes, but motivating people.
Yeah.
Is probably one of the things that you do best. I know that you've told me so many stories of people in your chair that, you know, you just want to see them succeed. And so you talk to them about it and try and help them out. You're someone that's very open about spreading the word and trying to get things out there. I mean, you were just telling me about all the people you were telling about the podcast today.
Yes.
And it's like, holy cow, like that's cool, because that's true friendship, and that's true trying to help people out and motivate people. So many people get beat down so early when their dreams aren't becoming a reality as fast as they want it to be.
Most definitely.
But to have people like you in your corner where you know, like, all right, they have my back. No matter what I need, if I need a share, if I need something, like, they're going to have my back. And that's why I remember telling you this story last year, because I wanted to get you on the show last year.
Yeah.
It was a big goal of mine. And I was like, my platform's not ready for you yet. I want to make sure that all the stuff and all the things that you helped me out with, that I return the favor, and that this podcast meant something more than just me and you shooting the shit. I'll come in and get a tattoo for that.
Yeah.
To actually tell the story of where you've been and how you got into tattooing, and to see on the camera of like how much you actually care when you do what you do, that's what matters. And that's why it's awesome.
And for me, it's building community.
Yeah.
And it's about each one teach one. And I feel almost obligated to be able to speak about these things because somebody cared enough to tell me my things.
Exactly.
My friend believed in me that I was going to be a good and great tattoo artist.
Yeah.
Before I even had the vision or the thought.
Yeah.
Somebody believed in me that much that he lied to me to be able to make sure that I could get now to where I'm at.
Yeah.
It's not good to lie.
No.
But
sometimes people need a push, though.
Most definitely. And it was that he pushed me to be able to wake back up.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to do when I started tattooing on you and you're like, I want to do this. And I looked straight at you and I was like, so then do it.
Mm-hmm.
and you're here. You're doing it. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I can't. Not because I'm here.
Yeah.
I mean, because of where you're gonna be. Because you've adapted these things. Because we can always learn what and what not to do from people.
Yeah.
Even from our loved ones.
Yeah.
You know, we've had this conversation as well.
So many times. Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, and it's not going on like, oh, haters or this or that.
No.
The ones that love you the most can also get in the way of you following your dream because they want to protect you.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't want my son to fail. I don't want my nephew. I don't want my boyfriend or whatever to fail or girlfriend. So they'll try to protect you because they're afraid of their failures. And that's fine. They've had their stuff, but that's them.
Yeah.
Let me try this. Let me see what I can do. And then if not, then I'll find something else. You end up moving your feet, you're going to end up somewhere.
Yeah. And that's something that I had to overcome. That's something we've talked about in depth is you just got to keep going and you got to start and you can talk about it, but you got to be about it. And yeah, many hours in your chair. It's funny in a lot of the intros I say it's almost like a therapy session with you.
Most definitely.
Because
it's ink therapy with us.
Because we've gotten to the point now where we have some in-depth conversations and it's like I come out with a dope tattoo, but also like more knowledge than I went in with. And if that's one thing that I got to leave today off with is that thank you for that. And I know it's not just me. I know it's every single person that comes in your chair, and I see it on Snapchat. I see it on Instagram. I see all these people come in and out, and I'm like, I know I don't get special treatment. I get treatment built for me, and they get treatment built for them.
And it's a beautiful cycle because it's not me just dropping knowledge.
No.
And I'm like, yo, you know, this is what you should do. This is what's worked for me. This is, you know, I don't approach it that way.
Not at all.
I'm like, this is what has worked for me. You see the successes. I used to weigh 425 pounds.
Yeah.
I lost.
We didn't even get into that today.
No, I lost 225 pounds. What do you weigh?
I weigh 205.
Okay, so I was carrying you and more.
And yeah, double.
And still traveling the world, still tattooing, still helping people, but my health was depleting.
Yeah.
So I had to check myself on that. So now when somebody's talking about like my back hurts or my feet or this, I feel obligated.
Yeah.
Because when they follow that, if they want to take it upon themselves to do that, I feed off of that, and it's this continuous cycle. That motivation now motivates me to do that much more.
Yeah.
It's not me just dropping knowledge because I'm a student.
Everybody's still learning.
Yeah.
Everyone's just trying to make it in this life.
But now everybody's about like, you have to pat me on the back. I've done this and I deserve. No, we don't deserve anything.
Yeah.
Every day that's given to us is a gift.
It's a gift.
Yeah. I say thank you every time that I go home and I sleep in my bed and I'm tired and I feel good. And when I wake up in the morning and I'm able to open up my eyes, my feet touch the ground, I'm like, I'm going to do this again. Thank you. I give thanks to anything and everything. God, Goddess, the universe, whichever one is in my corner.
Yep.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And it's all about each one teach one. It's not about like, oh, it's just this community. It's like humanity.
Yeah. Humanity. And
somebody cared enough to be able to give this information to me, so I have to spread that.
And trying to change
most definitely
the freaking world, man.
It doesn't matter if I'm selling tattoos, socks, or wrapping cars like our new business.
Yeah.
I'm going to be successful.
Yeah, the car wrapping business, man. So we didn't get to dive into that as much today as we wanted to, but we're going to make up for it because we're going to do a giveaway.
Definitely.
So, guys, the details in the giveaway are going to be in the description below, but I'm going to tell you right now. So we're going to do a window tint, correct?
Yes.
Because it's going to be hot as balls outside here.
It's just getting hotter and hotter.
It's just getting hotter and hotter. I'm going to throw in a side of Mayo shirt, and then also Ernie's going to throw in both the Golden Touch, the new wrap shop, a T-shirt from them, and a Top Rocker Tattoo Shop T-shirt as well, or a tank top, whichever one you guys prefer. So you're going to get a nice little hookup. Dang, 3 shirts and a window. I'm going to create a fake profile for this one.
Yeah, so you're getting $500 worth of ceramic window tinting.
Window tint.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, so you'll stay cool.
Yeah, you're going to stay cool this summer. So, guys, make sure you get in on this giveaway. Like I said, the descriptions are going to be down below. Ernie, my man, thank you so much for coming in, telling the story. It's always great just chopping it up with you.
Definitely, brother. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Anything you want to say before we head out?
I just want to thank you for the opportunity to be here, and anybody that needs anything from our services or anything.
Yeah.
You know, that's why we're here.
Hey.
I got you covered.
There
Literally.
you go. Literally, right?
Literally.
Make sure if you guys want a tattoo, hit up my guy Ernie. 10% off your first tattoo if you drop the name Side of Mayo. Guys, that's it for the week. This episode was absolutely phenomenal. Next one's going to be crazy as well, guys. I have a treat for every single person out there. Peace.
Peace out.